Welcome to Div Tech 101, aka Black Mentor, as I discuss information technology, also known as IT. And on today's episode, people, we are going to get into the death of the App Store, why apps will become invisible. Now, this is all in sync with a lot of the AI things that I've been talking about on the channel for months down the line. And it's just a little bit of some insight and just some what ifs this could actually happen. As we all know, that it is definitely something that's not too far fetched based on the things that we've seen. But the death of the App Store, apps will become invisible, is definitely something that we need to consider and think about when we look at our devices that we have, especially our phones. And of course, I have just one of my old phones here. I'm just using it just as a demo, just for us here today on the channel, just so we can kind of get a better understanding, get a little bit of visual going on, so that we can actually see and make the necessary adjustments that we need right now to see how it will either benefit us or hurt us in the future. Now, many of you, of course, are probably tied most definitely to your phones in and out throughout the day. They do control a big aspect of our life. And there was a time when having apps on your phone felt so futuristic. Like, it felt so futuristic because we went from a time of not having mobile devices, not having technology like this, and then being able to basically have to look in the phone book to look up some things. And now there is an app for just about everything that we need in our life, from keeping up the time, looking up directions, GPS, and stuff like that. And so I want us to be able to take a look at this and look at it from now, at the time of this video forward. Is we had a whole phrase for it. There's an app for that. Then there literally has been an app for just about everything that we have out there. But today, most of us don't even want the apps anymore because we're so used and in tune with a lot of the Ray-Ban glasses that we have, the Meta glasses. We have all these different types of technology facing rings and glasses that we have, that we can see our apps, as opposed to taking our fingers and pressing on the applications themselves. Time has changed so much. And so now people don't even want more logins. They don't want to have to remember a login. For example, people don't want to have to put their finger on their phone and look at the time and just going through here and just finding applications and stuff like that. People don't want that anymore. What people are now looking for is, they don't want no more settings. They don't want notifications or clutter. They want to have fewer steps in which they can actually move and navigate through their mobile device. Because think about it, you've moved from computer to your mobile phone. Now the thing is to get off of your phone onto your watches, your smart goggles and glasses and things of that nature, and it's less clutter that you have. But even with fewer steps, the future is about to give you exactly what you're asking for in the coming years that we have coming up. And that is only because the next evolution of all of this in regards to technology won't be an app for you to download per se, but it can most definitely be some type of AI or artificial intelligence agent, whether that is agentic AI or AI in general. From what we know, will be able to work on your behalf. And so many of you definitely understand that the way that I've been breaking it down on the channel has been in bite-sized chunks, because this is a whole lot to think about. Even when you look at, for example, if you have an iPhone or Google phone or whatever, when you go into the App Store, you're going to see like a lot of different applications in here, and you basically have to go out there. You have to look for your application. You have to type it in and all of that. And as you're going through those particular type of applications that are out there, what you have to ask yourself is, why are we having to do all of this as of right now? And will we have to do this in the future as we are moving through? Now, as I mentioned, from behind these smartphones, you're going to have these glasses, and everything that lived on the computer has now transitioned to the phone. Everything that, or let me take a step back, everything that was on paper and in person has now transitioned to an app and on the phone and online. And now everything online, of course, is transitioning more into AI agents that is going to basically help people get through their life. But you needed a desktop program for every little thing. Then, of course, 2008, you start getting your iPhones start to come out, and the App Store, as we know of it, it dropped. And once that App Store dropped, it changed everything dramatically, because now we had went from having apps and things that were more than likely just looking through books, has now transitioned to the phone. And once that hit the App Store, everything else started going from there. Google Play started coming for the Android devices. The App Store coming started coming from the iOS devices, and it just went to everything. And so now you have an app for your bank account. So if you ever have to go and do financial transactions, boom, you got your bank account information right there. You also had your calendar as well, for that way you can be able to look at the events that you have coming up that is going to be going about your daily life. You no longer have to write them on paper. You basically have the app basically go inside of your calendar. And many of you probably use this at some point throughout the day as you're going like through it and everything, but you have your calendar that's there for you to go through it. Even when you get to the point where you are so hungry, instead of looking to the phone book and making a call, you just go into the application itself. And many of you are probably using some form of the Grubhub or some other app out there. I've never used any of them before, but many of you see. I remember when we will call and order pizza over the phone. That was like the original Grubhub right there. And many of us don't even remember that, to the point because it really didn't feel as like you were ordering through the phone, but you really had a corded phone. You call, order your pizza at your favorite pizza place, whether it be Domino's Pizza or it be Pizza Hut. And I remember Pizza Hut growing up. And when you make that call, you order pizza, it's the same as what people now do it, where they order from McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or any of these other restaurants. They order it through the app on their phone, and they go in there, they get their food, they order it, and they just download the app, tie your email account to it. Next thing you know, you are like right into there. And even with our fitness and everything, but it gave you convenience, mobility, and speed as you were going or through this. But here's the problem. Now people have hundreds of applications on their phone. So when you look at a standard, like if you're looking on an iPhone, depending on the size of your screen or whatever, let's say you got 16 to 20 apps probably per page, right? And then you just get to swiping. But standard, if you don't download anything, you got your standard applications, and then you have your other ones probably offset, which is going to be your basic application. Then you can embed apps within a specific portion or specific section of a page. You can name it whatever you want. I mean, you all know all this. I mean, it's not anything new that I'm showing you here. And then you have all those apps consistently sending you notifications, information, and you have all these different tabs that are open, and it begins to be a very, very big problem for you all out there. But the apps didn't necessarily simplify your life. It just basically gave you an easier way to find stuff. However, it shifted the work onto you. Now with AI in place, now the workload is going to be placed on the AI agent. So now you don't even have to go in and hit an app. You basically have the agent go out there and do it. And people are getting tired. It's not because the apps were bad or anything. It's that we are so used to putting so much work into the applications on our phones. Now people are using Chat GPT and these different AI chatbots. It's now giving them the ability to take a complex modern lifestyle and put it into an easier fashion for them as they're through this. But you mark my word, the rise of this invisible app era? Is there going to be a shift and we're moving from the apps that you control to AI agents that control the apps for you just by simply using your voice and speaking or thinking ahead and figuring out what are you projected to probably ask for or projected to probably eat. So how convenient will it be? And I'm not saying the apps are disappearing per se, but it's going to be an interaction with them. For example, your AI agent will be able to open up your apps for you. Think about how you've been using Siri or how you've been using Alexa and Amazon. You basically are interacting with it. And so at the start of it, it opens the apps and closes the apps or stops the music from playing and things like that. Now you're going to be able to navigate the menus and make decisions and complete different tasks without even touching anything at all. Why do you think they have moved to so much of the goggles or the glasses per se, the watch and the rings and all this stuff? Is instead of you basically opening up your banking app to transfer funds, what do you think about the AI agent being able to automatically move money into your savings account, for example, when your spending is low? So you're no longer having to stop in the middle of traffic trying to transfer funds. Or what about if you get hungry, your dash just opens up and just start ordering food for you based on your schedule and how your Google Calendar is going. Like there's so many different variations of this from travel apps. You get super, super tired, you complain about it, your phone just starts booking your trips for you. See, this is now your phone is becoming a control center and not a collection of applications that are out there to make your lifestyle a little bit better, or it can make them worse. And of course, we're going to have some people that's not going to like it. That is perfectly fine. But these are real life examples that can actually take place. And so, whether you're opening up your phone, look at the weather in the morning, you are open to your calendar to check your meetings, you are basically looking at your inbox, checking your emails before you get into the work site. But now you're going to have an agent on your phone because it's already happening at work. But you're going to have an agent on your phone that's basically going to be able to not only tell you good morning, it's going to ask you how your day is going. It's going to tell you what time to leave. Your meeting's been moved from this time to this time, and it's going to basically reschedule your whole day, maybe so you can get a cup of coffee in. Now, home life, you can have different apps for school. I mean, a lot of people doing homeschool now. Or you may have appointments or billing apps or smart home apps to basically turn on your lights when you pull into the driveway. There are so many different variations of this. And just think about how this is going to change the way that humans interact with technology. Because I've always been a proponent of technology because, of course, I'm in this space, so I see it different than what the average daily user would see this. And this is and can be scary to majority of the average population that's out there, and that's definitely understandable. But it's one of those things that if you don't get down with it, it's going to lay you down. So you either with it or you're not. No matter what way that you think, it's still going to come anyway. Now, when I look at the cybersecurity perspective of this, I'm always wanting to protect the privacy of the person that has it. There's definitely have to be some strict protocols around this. Hopefully, in my opinion, I think there are buildings at things so fast that they're caring less about security behind it. But people, if they're producing this so fast, people are forgetting to do VPN. People, the average home user is not using VPN or firewalls to block out stuff. Maybe password apps, but just being able to scan their network to make sure that nothing's open, like these kind of things are going to vary. But if your devices are outdated, the average user is not going to know how to patch those devices or create a safe password in that to prevent a suspicious login from taking place at some point in time on their device. Now, the people that develop all this stuff out there, will the developers have any interfaces to be able to develop the applications anymore? Probably not. Probably not. But these apps that are going to be in this marketplace, they're going to be already agent ready models, and so they are going to evolve behind the scenes, and you're never going to know whether a real live person actually developed these apps safely or not. Now, I've talked about agentic AI on the channel, and that's basically having much more human like function. However, it's not just about an assistant, but it's going to be built more so for reality. And so you're not going to be able to particularly like manage the task per se anymore, but the tech is going to most definitely manage you. You watch what I tell you, whether it takes another 3 to 5 years, another 5 to 7, or 7 to 10, these agentic AI is going to increase the area of task automation. So you won't even need, you just need this to probably make calls. Everything else is going to be based on what you say, what you do, and how you do it. And then it's going to be personalized more to you. But hopefully, that privacy is the first decision that these devices will make to protect you and your family, and making sure that nothing is left open for bad actors to tap into your device, your network, or whatever. These apps are definitely going to become your digital butler. They're going to be tailored to your needs. They're just going to work. Now, the information that you put out there, the data and where it's stored, that's a whole other different ballpark. It's a whole other different conversation. Definitely take a look at some of my other videos that I've done, because I've talked a lot about data and privacy and stuff, because I'm very, very big into that. There's definitely has to be a separation in keeping your personal life in terms of things that go on inside your home separate from what you're putting out online. And hopefully many of you are not putting your information out there online for the people to tap into. But overall, this is where the world is headed. You're not getting around it. This technology is going to be much more intrusive, and you want to make sure that you are ahead of this and that you understand it. Definitely read up on it. There's plenty of articles out there, but what you don't want to be is a laggard. You want to make sure that you are not falling behind in learning this information too late. I'm presenting and putting this out there for you all to really understand and see. This is not slowing down. It's not going that way whatsoever. It is going fast. It's going fast enough where they are having a hard time developing laws to even protect people around this. That's how fast this is moving. So definitely be careful with that. But even just looking at the App Store and how it's changed from even prior to the iPhone and how we lived our life, the AI agents is definitely going to be how we experience life going on in the future. And think about this. We went from paper notes in terms of money into cards, and now we're going from cards to cashless transactions. And now all of this is going on. There's a reason behind that. I wouldn't necessarily say the apps are dying, but I will say that the era of tapping icons is, and that is where we're going to have it here. But the future is, it's going to be, or could be, simple. There is an out for that. When you hear people say there's an out for that, that is going to become, there is an agent. for that. You mark my word, mark this video, it's going to happen. But most definitely, if you enjoyed this breakdown, people, definitely drop me a comment below on the channel, like, listen, and subscribe to the channel as well. Pass to friends and family, especially if they're interested in technology. Hope this video helps. But if you enjoy this breakdown and everything, I want you to ask yourself this question: would you trust an AI agent to run your apps for you? As always, DevTech 101, aka Black Mantle, on the Tech Unfiltered portion of the channel. See you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay secure, subscribe for more tech with purpose, only on DevTech 101.